Hey guys, it's me, DigiPal3, aka Gleam the Tri-Tailed Fox. I normally don't like to do post-narration Showdown battles, but we have one here. I leave with Hypnosis as I normally do on this Smeargle, and put it to sleep. So I switch into Thunderous to set up on my sleeping foe as I normally do, with the Substitute and this nasty plot, and sweep the team. Well, he wakes up in Miracoat, so that's like whatever, I don't really care, but then he gets Toxic, and I'm like, what? And then he dies. So, yeah, that was the end of Smeargle. I mean, looking at his team, the only thing that's going to stop me is the Ninetales. So, he goes into Reliper, and I'm like, okay, he's going to die. But it Shadow Forces, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm faster than it, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's minimum speed? I don't know. So, then the Encores, and I'm like, what? And he Shadow Forces again, and I'm like, what? Okay, I'm at a loss for words at this point. I really don't know what's going on. I can't hit this cat. It's just smacking all my dudes with Shadow Force, and I'm not liking it. So I'm just like, what do I do? I don't know. I'm just trying to get my slowest Pokemon in the battle just so I can try and damage it, but nothing's slow enough to outslow the cat when it uses its Shadow Force. Even Vaporeon's too fast. It's just like, what's going on? I don't even know. No. So he Shadow Forces me again, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and make it just fail at this point. I mean, the only thing I possibly can do is to let something, like, stall it until it tries to use, like, another move. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to rest, sub, baton pass, into other things, and just stall the cat. That's my goal. I mean, Vaporeon is the only thing on my team that can take multiple Shadow Forces, and there it taunts. I'm like, okay, so it has another move, and it's starting to be afraid of my Vaporeon. Maybe at some point I can kill the cat. Maybe. However, he still has his entire team left to go through, so I'm just like, this cat's a problem, but, I mean, he still has 5 very threatening Pokemon, so even if I can get rid of this thing, what am I going to do? So here I decided to stay in and go for the Scald, because I felt like it. He predicted my rest again and went for the Sun, and, well, obviously I didn't go for the rest. My Scald did a pretty nice chunk of damage, considering the fact it was sunny out. I'm pretty happy about that. So I'll go back into my Politoed, to obviously just set the rain back up, because I need the rain. And he swaps me a Toxic Orb. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I have to kill the Gothitelle, because I need to keep my Politoed alive, because I need the rain. So, yeah, my Politoed just keeps waterfalling relentlessly, as he does nothing but protect himself. At this point, I was getting really worried. I'm like, what do I do? But he does die, because too many waterfalls to the head really does hurt. Goes back into the cat, and I'm like, okay, I'll go into the one Pokemon I have that can take it. So he goes for Shadow Force, which is cool, because I can rest up really easy right now. And, he hits me with the Shadow Force, of course brings me back down to this point. I'm like, okay, let's go for Scald, see what happens. No, I switch out. So I go back into Garchomp as he goes for another Shadow Force. At this point, I'm like, okay, let's switch back on Vaporeon, and he hits me with the Shadow Force. I'm in the range where I think he might taunt me again, so of course I go for the Scald, but he doesn't taunt me, he goes for a Shadow Force, and forced to go for the rest here to get my HP back, because I don't want to die, that'd be silly. So I get my HP back with the leftovers, and he goes into Ditto, and I'm like, okay, I got the Ditto. So Ditto gets burned, or doesn't get burned, he just takes the hit. And then he sets up a substitute, leading me to believe he does not have a choice something. So that's the first Ditto I've ever seen without a choice. And I go for Calm Mind. He does hit me with a Scald. Scald doesn't burn me, luckily, so I break his sub with a Secret Sword. And then he baton passes into the cat. So the cat just goes for Shadow Force as I predicted, and I went back into my Vaporeon to take the hit. So I set up a sub here, because why not? Sure. Subs are awesome. That's all I got. And now I go into Thunderous, because I need just to go into Thunderous, because predicting Encore / Taunt, and I don't want to stay in. Then I go for the Focus Blast, and, yeah, it obviously doesn't do anything, and then switch back onto my Vaporeon to take the hit. Goes back into Ninetales as I go for the Scald, and Ninetales is really close to dying at this point. I am happy about that, and he goes into Gothorita. But I double switch into Garchomp, which is pretty massive right now, because Garchomp here just can take out the Gothorita no problem, even with a Flame Orb. So yeah, that's another Pokemon on his team taken down easily, and I didn't need Garchomp anyways. It serves literally no purpose on this team. Or against that team, anyways. I mean, it serves a purpose on my team. It's one of the best sweepers I got. But against that team, Garchomp does nothing. Then he goes into Ditto to copy my Garchomp, and I'm like, okay, I'll just let my Garchomp die so I can finish it off with Politoed, apparently. Then I got my Rain up, and I went into this thing predicting the Earthquake, but no, he went for Outrage. And I'm like, okay, sucks. So he kills me with an Outrage, and I go into my Water Lover, who can take an Outrage rather well. I know my specs, thank you. And I go for the rest, and heal all my HP back. So he gets confused, which means he's forced to switch, so I'm just gonna go for the rest, or Baton Pass, rather. I don't know why I went back on Baton Pass, but I Baton Pass into Keldeo, who's faster than Garchomp, and kill it with off the Hydro Pump. So at this point, we end up in the situation where it is Cat versus Keldeo, and that doesn't work. So I switch back into Vaporeon to take the Shadow Force, and he taunts me. So that's awesome, because now I go for the Scald and burn the hell out of that thing, which means I win the game. See, one right prediction, and the game is mine. That's how it is. Digipal 3, Gleam Tribe Tailed Fox, and that is the game. See you next time.